What I say is try the lie. If you can try a lie, you're going to win every single time. Try the lie. We're trial by human. We talk about and we train and we love to tell human stories. This client wasn't in the courtroom hardly at all. He was in the courtroom for a total of about 90 minutes in 6 weeks. He testified for maybe 45 minutes, his son for maybe 30 minutes, his ex-wife for maybe 20 minutes, and we focused on the lies and the other stuff.
So you're sitting at like the top of the food chain for complicated cases or cases that you want across the nation. How are you able to manage that? Because you probably get calls in for trials from Alaska to Alabama.
If you don't have a system or don't have systems, stuff falls through the cracks. But we have a quantitative and qualitative analysis. I have attorneys rate the likability of the plaintiff. Part of that is, what do I care about? Well, I want them to estimate the value of the case. I want them to estimate the number of experts. How much are these people going to cost? And look at other things that we all get burned on. Prior cases, prior injuries, subsequent injuries, criminal charges, you name it. So I put all those things into intake.
Welcome to this episode of Bourbon Approved, where we interview those who are successful at law and life to inspire the younger generation. And we do it over several spirits to hopefully loosen up the crowd. And today we're very, very honored to have Jakob Norman on today. And for those of you that do not know Jakob Norman, we'll do a little TLDR just to kind of cut to the chase as to everything you've been through. Guy's from Iowa, goes in the military, now is pending status as a general in the Coast Guard.
Coast Guard?
National Guard.
Oh, yes, whatever. It's the same thing, right? Okay, whatever.
Army is not the Coast Guard. We got to get this right.
What does that mean?
The United States Army is a warfighting machine, and the Coast Guard, they get drugs and stuff like that.
Okay, so catch it. Morrow knows about that. So this is why he's been transporting some narcotics. Well, we've got our co-host, Mauro Fiore, as always.
As always, thank you. Little Jacob, little Jacob.
And now Jacob fights for the injured. He's the director of Trial Lawyers for Justice, the COO. Just had recently over $50 million verdict for an environmental case, which we will talk about. Yeah, big deal in a very tough jurisdiction, and does a lot of teaching in the community. So, Jacob, first of all, we're going to talk about the early years with you. So we're going to jump right into it. And the first one I brought for you. This is a lock, stock, and barrel Vatted, and this is their 2022 batch one. It's the first one that they did. I've never had this one. But this is a credit to all your accolades in the Army, this guy's, you probably know like 20 different medals and honors, but just fascinating. So first pour for this.
It's a great name.
Lock, stock, and barrel. We'll see how good it is to taste.
He had the misfortune, I think, of being in charge of Nick Rowley in the Army.
Really?
Can you imagine having to wrangle in that wild stallion at 18?
I had only 11 people that I was in charge of, and Nick was one of them. But
hello.
Well, is this the...
It's for me.
What's happening here?
Well, so she's going to take your drinks, because, Jacob, have you ever had a drink of alcohol in your life?
Well, I've only had one, and 14 people shared a Matilda Bay at Carrie Ballou's house, and so I did have a sip of a Matilda Bay, and that was it.
What is that? Is that like one of those?
It's like a wine cooler, but her parents were gone. They were at the racket club, I think, and I'd never seen such activities. And
well, we have Courtney Barber, the host of Settlement Nation.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all.
And now, wife of Mr. Jakob Norman.
You know, the talent is here. What can I say? So I'm ready to have a drink and
cheers.
Enjoy.
Give us your notes.
Cheers. Smells a bit down underish.
Is your accent Jersey? What is that?
It's Aussie, actually.
Oh, really?
You know, nothing like a bit of Aussie in the morning. This is great. I recommend this, and have a great interview, guys.
Thank you. Thanks.
South Jersey.
South Jersey.
The shore.
18 exit.
This is really good.
This is very good.
This is 100 proof.
So it's 100 proof bottle of bond.
Even for batch one.
And, you know, it's as usual, it's a rye, but if Bob's picking it, it's usually a rye.
It does well. The spirit speaks to me very well. So, Jacob, tell us about born in Twin Falls or Twin Cities, Iowa?
Idaho Falls, Idaho.
Idaho Falls, Iowa.
Idaho.
Idaho.
It's the other I state.
Idaho. We had another Idaho guest on one of the episodes prior to this.
We're trying to take over.
He also went to University of?
Utah.
Utah. Law school at Villanova, my state, Pennsylvania. Thing. But you also did, you went to Army College. What was that?
I got a master's in strategy at the Army War College.
Damn. So do you use any of your military background, strategy, or whatever, being a trial lawyer?
100%.
How so?
And I say this, if you ask me what an attribute of a trial lawyer is or should be, it's leadership. And whether you're a one-person firm, you might be leading a clerk one day. You're always leading a jury. You often have to lead a judge, but that leadership, general overarching trait, I think is used everywhere. And of course, it can be used at home or anywhere else, but that's one of the core foundations of any Army officer, and it's usable every single day.
So is it kind of like managing egos?
Well, there's servant leadership, which is where you're giving up ego for the good of the organization. So I definitely believe in servant leadership. And the other kind of leadership could be sometimes you just have to say, I'm dropping the hammer and this is what is going to happen. But egos is always part of the game, so it's best left at the door, as you know.
Yeah, and speaking of managing egos, you also had to manage some egos. Well, so we've heard, as Mauro told us, is one of the most famous trial lawyers, one of your partners, Dick Rowley. You are his supervisor. How's that work?
No, we're all team members.
But back in the day.
Back in the day, he was 17 because he graduated early. I was 19 because I failed 7th grade. So I went to a 3-year school for 4 years. Very proud of that.
Good job.
Dean Morgan Junior High. Couldn't get out of there fast enough. But so I was appointed as a leader in basic training because I had junior ROTC. So I got randomly 11 guys, you don't know any of them, and planes come in from all over the U.S., and then you get in lines, and there's buses, and some people take a bathroom break, but you all get pushed into these lines, and somehow, and this is not explainable, Nick and I ended up in the same line, same time, from 2 very different places, having not known each other at all, and I get put in charge of him.
Wow. And when was this?
October 10th of 1994.
October 10th, 1994. Jeez.
You know, when I think of basic training, I think of that old movie Stripes. Remember?
That's exactly what it is.
Is that how it is? Okay.
Absolutely. We end up with Russians in the end.
Yeah, with. Did you ever see
Gregory
Stripes
Hines
with
in that one?
No,
No,
it's Bill Murray and John Candy.
Stripes.
And John Candy.
I thought it was
Old
Taps,
movie.
but that was different.
Taps is different. That's Tom Cruise.
Wow.
Stripes, the great, outstanding people in basic training, end up saving the world from nuclear war.
Yeah.
As usual. So this is 94.
Coming on 30 years.
So, I mean, how long does that last? And are you with Nick Rowley this entire time? I mean, so walk us through your journey up until you end up being a trial lawyer, a civil trial lawyer, because you did other stuff before that.
Yes, sir.
Right?
It's going to seem unbelievable. So Nick and I graduate basic training, and then you each go your own way. I go to pararescue combat control selection course.
Pararescue. Yeah, I wonder what, like,
Well,
I actually had to bring my phone up because this is fucking
I don't
crazy.
put that on there.
No, but one of your awards is on there is for that. It says it.
So pararescue combat, what's more interesting is there's someone else you know that was in the class ahead of mine that I got to know personally, which is someone that's known as David Goggins.
Really?
So we were in school, same time, same place. I actually walked with him to the hospital the same day he found out he had sickle cell anemia and was going to potentially be removed from the program. And I was in the payphone line behind him. This is how old this was. You had to call home on a payphone where he notified his family.
I would do the, hey, mom, come pick me up.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it. So
Collect.
Yeah.
Collect.
You did have to call collect.
Yeah.
So, Jake, when was the next time you see Nick Rowley after 94 basic?
Well, I see him while we're both in our training school. He ends up at the base I'm at and saw each other at the chow hall and hung out and then said goodbye. And I didn't hear anything from him again, which is normal. No one had cell phones at the time. No one had email addresses. If you wanted to find someone, you'd maybe have to find their parents who still had a landline. And that just wasn't what I was doing. But I moved to LA in 2016. I decided Manhattan Beach is the best place for my kids to go to school. I've never been to LA really except to pass through, but I started Googling, or I had my daughter actually do it. She said, well, we need to live in Manhattan Beach because we were moving there for her, so I made her do some of the legwork.
Diligence.
Yeah.
That's where I live now. Great public schools, great quality of life for kids.
In our estimation, they're the best in the area. So but I don't know how long it's going to be or anything. So I end up being roommates with Steve King.
Wow.
We had a big place in Manhattan Beach, and so we thought it'd be better to share the cost. And he kept saying, hey, you got to meet my boy Nick. You got to meet my boy Nick. And I'm here from Wyoming. Although I'm a single father, I'm single, and he wants me to meet dudes. So I was like, not in a rush to meet this guy, Nick.
Sure.
But sure enough, at Cali, he's like, hey, you're here, Nick's here. I want you to meet him. I'm like, fine. Like, okay, I'm trying to catch a plane back. It's Saturday night. You guys know what happens on Saturday night in Cali.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back to Manhattan Beach to be with the kids, and that's where the fun begins. So he drags me over to him at a poolside cabana. They just come with Courtney, and I know Courtney from the Trial Lawyers College.
Oh,
I knew her separately. Yeah, when she wasn't with him.
Wow.
So I see Courtney. I'm like, hey, it's good to see you. Blah, blah,
You
blah,
didn't
blah.
know that she was with him later. You had no idea, but this is the point. Wow.
No idea, because when I went to the Trial Lawyers College and she was there, they weren't married. And so I just wasn't ever registering these names from so many years before, right? So my boy...
This was from 94 to 2016. It's a long time.
Yeah, and I don't even actually run into Nick again until about 2018.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So the name just wasn't sticking, but I shake his hand. I'm like, I know this guy. And he looked at me and goes, I know you. I said, as a lawyer? And he said, yeah. And I said, no, I'm good with faces, but I knew it wasn't from being a lawyer. And I kept thinking about it. And when Nick's around, people just come up and talk to him. And so all these people are interrupting him, like, I met your boy Nick. But I kept thinking, I know this guy. And I walked away to get to the airport, and I realized where I knew him from. So I start texting, like, Ambrose, King, all these people who I thought might have his cell phone number. And no one's responding. Why? Because it's Saturday night in Cali.
Yeah.
So someone else, Ada Spahick, who lives out in Detroit, I thought maybe she knows. And it's even later in Detroit, right? And she goes, well, I haven't talked to him in years, but here's the last number I had. And so I'm like sitting on a Southwest plane. I have this number. I'm like, Nick, this is Jakob. We just met. I remember where we know each other from. Before we took off, he's like, where? And I wrote Sergeant Lamb.
Wow.
And instantly, all of the memories had come back to both of us. And he's like, hey, I have an appointment with Stephen King in my office. Come with him. The appointment day with Stephen King, no kidding, was October 10th.
The day you guys met in 1994.
In 1994.
So we're going to, and Jacob shared some photos, which on the post-production I think we'll put on, but from their yearbook from 1994. It's hilarious.
And Nick has showed me some pictures of him like one time in like Bosnia or something. They sent him to Bosnia to be a medic or something.
Well, these are even better because these look like someone typed with a typewriter on the right-hand side of the yearbook. They're black and white pictures for sure. And Nick and I both look like we're 12.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, some of the just awards and accolades are just amazing. Because, I mean, I just was reading, resume. Like, we don't really carry resumes up because we don't need to, unless you got to be approved by the Senate to be a general. I mean, we don't have to, Mauro and I.
Yeah, somebody asked me, I can't remember what it was recently. Somebody asked me for a CV. I was like, well, I'm not applying for a job. The fuck would I have a CV?
It's probably to get into Justice HQ. They made you do that
maybe
stuff.
that's what it was. I was like, am I applying for a job? I don't have a CV.
If you put one together, can I see it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I want to see what's on there.
It would be written in crayons.
Yes.
That would be.
I mean, I could have an award for hanging out with Judd Nelson at Crazy Girls a lot back in the 90s.
That would count.
You should put that on your resume.
Yeah.
Instead of like these the awards badges,
we had the
combat
best
action badge, parachutist badge, air assault badge, EMT badge, vehicle operations safety badge, former wartime shoulder sleeve insignia with 3 different types, fire brigade, that sounds pretty fucking awesome, joint materials, I can't even read, unit award, United States, I mean, this is insane. It goes on and on and on. Legion of Merit, NATO medal, Afghan campaign medal. Did you ever kill a guy? Don't have to answer.
You don't ask those questions.
Well, I told him you didn't have to answer.
No, I
Kill a
was.
kid? Don't have to answer that.
I tried to keep it to women and children only. No, that's a horrible joke.
Defense lawyers only. That would have been the layup.
No, those are just things because the Army can't give you a bonus or anything, so they give you little things to wear around. But I'm proud of some of those things. We were part of the largest attack ever on Americans, still in the war on terror. 26 suicide bombers came at us, same time, same day, same hour, and some of that stuff comes out of that particular attack.
What region in the world did that happen?
That was off of Bagram, which everyone kind of heard Bagram, and of course it unfortunately made the news when all the troops were leaving. That was at Kabul, but you hear Kabul and Bagram, the two main places, and Kabul's down the road about 3 hours. But in Bagram, there's a camp off of that called Camp Sabula Harrison, which is an Afghan camp.
Wow.
And our American camps usually have 12-foot cement walls, and this particular camp had 8-foot chain link fences. So that's how they...
Best U.S. dollars could buy, chain link.
We were trying to make it look like they had their own base, but it was...
It's kind of like that one that we erected at the border, the south border here. There's like giant holes in between it. You just literally walk through, but whatever.
No, I used to go for a run, and I was like, to go for a run outside of this small base I was on is just chain link and whatever's going on outside there. So as one time these kids had like a BB gun, and I was like, why am I trying to be in shape right now? This is stupid.
Yeah, and let's fast forward. So, I mean, you're a trial lawyer throughout this, from probably early 2000s then, mid-2000s on? 2002, you graduated law school from Villanova. I think 3 years practicing on the dark side a little bit.
Correct.
Right. Mauro and I are true bloods. We talk about this all the time, pure.
I'm gold star, never been a defense lawyer.
Gold star. And then you did criminal work too.
Oh, yeah.
So what was your first, actually, let's pour the next one. Mauro, tell us what you chose and why you chose.
Well, this one's called Redwood Empire. This is from Northern California. I know, these days, not all bourbon is from Kentucky anymore. There's great distilleries popping up everywhere. I think this Lock, Stock, and Barrel is like from New Jersey or something, isn't it?
No, I think that's from Kentucky.
Kentucky? I don't know. But so this is from Northern Cal. They call it Redwood Empire, but it's named after the giant redwood trees.
It is New Jersey. Jeez.
Yeah, I remember reading about that one.
That's why she had that accent. I told you.
The giant redwood trees up in Northern Cal, they call it the Redwood Empire. And I know that you recently had a huge success in Northern Cal.
Santa Maria.
And a big trial. So that's why we figured this one would fit right in with our theme here.
To environmental justice in this one. We're going to need Courtney Barber to come back out here to enjoy this delicious cocktail.
I'm happy to be back.
There's a foul right here.
Okay,
And
let me drink
this one is...
Mauro, can you see this real
particular?
quick?
You got a drink.
All right.
This one is, if anyone wants to get this is the Redwood Empire. This particular batch is called the Lost Monarch.
Jesus Christ.
I hope
This is the Lost Monarch.
at least Jacob's driving today, we hope.
Whoever's drinking
yeah.
for me, could they drink up?
Oh, give me some.
No, it's
sorry, Bob.
pathetic. It's definitely not a good show.
Bob, did
what
you hear
kind of pour is this?
Did you hear what she said about your show?
You want more?
No, I said
Says
not a
pathetic.
good show of me, not a good show of this show. A great
I mean, her show does have more downloads than ours, so.
I'm a bit of a big deal.
How come I've never been asked to be on?
Right now, you have an invite to come on my
mean,
show. But,
I'm insulted.
but today is about Jacob.
Bob,
so.
I heard people from New Jersey could drink. Is that...
This is true.
Well, I'm from the deep south. Like the real deep south.
Bob, here,
Yeah.
I'll join you in the loop.
Where the,
All right.
the toilets flush the other way, right?
Yeah. It actually do.
Congrats on getting hitched in Australia.
Thank
When did
you.
you guys get? It wasn't October 10th, was it?
No, that date was taken by the pastor, preacher, whatever the person was.
The what?
What day did you guys get married?
So we got married on December 17. Yeah.
nice.
And it was lovely. So
Of what year?
2022.
Yeah, just down.
recently.
So we're newlyweds. So it was a wedding down under. We even had a baby kangaroo at our wedding, because if a baby kangaroo doesn't come, it's not a real wedding. I don't know if you know that.
Call that a joke.
So Australians aren't like, ashamed of the kangaroo thing or anything? No?
I mean,
talking about?
ashamed.
Well, because I have some friends of mine that are like Arabs, and they always tell me the only time I ever saw a camel was at the zoo.
Well, I want to...
So they always get
I mean,
upset.
a kangaroo is a-
Arabs camels, and Australians kangaroos.
it's a pristine creature. I mean, and here's a fact before I leave my grand exit. The kangaroo and the emu are on our crest of arms because they're the only
ask him why.
only two animals that can't walk backwards.
Really?
So
Well,
we're
I knew
always
kangaroos couldn't.
advancing forward, guys.
Australia's always advancing forward, trying
like
to...
that.
Yeah.
Kangaroo can't rock fast.
Yeah.
So if you get in a fight with one, just keep running behind it because it can't back up.
That's true. Just run behind it.
Well, my kids watch a lot of like Wildcrats. It was one of the facts on there. So yeah.
Very cool. Well, cheers, guys. Love the banter, as they say in Love Island.
A side note about that, though, it turns out, as the first person to ever get a kangaroo to a wedding, Australians don't do stuff like that, so it's very difficult. And they thought I was a crazy American. But
Well, you are.
it turns out if you make a donation to an animal rescue, they'll show up with a kangaroo.
I love kangaroos.
I've seen those videos where they look like they want to box.
They will.
Get up and start boxing.
Those are called the red, what is it? She told me to go walk over to one day. They stand up, they're taller than you, and they're built like
They're buff.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, they look like they're jacked. I don't want to mess with those things.
So if an Aussie ever tells you to walk up to one, don't stay away.
Wow.
Well, this is
good.
pretty nice.
This is actually might be better than the last one. I've never had this one. So tell us about your, recently, a few weeks ago was when you got this landmark verdict, and it's also a social change verdict, the one that you recently had. Before we get there, walk us back to the first trial that Jakob Norman ever did. What was it?
So when you're at a defense firm, you have to do certain things. You should serve on nonprofit boards. You should do stuff in the community. You should take conflict cases with the public defender's office. At least that was kind of the take that mine did. And the reason is one, help is needed. It's good. And evidently it makes judges think your firm is okay as well. So I worked my way onto the CGA panel. That's the federal conflict panel.
Where are you at in the world?
I'm in Wyoming.
Wyoming.
And what's going on right at that point in Wyoming is major meth is passing through, right? It comes across the border up through Arizona. They cut through Wyoming because it's the least populated state, hardly ever get pulled over. So they were doing like 50, 60, 40-person conspiracies for methamphetamine. And the Federal Public Defender's Office can only represent one of those. So on the 50, you need 49 other offices in Wyoming or Colorado to cover it. So I started taking those. And so when I was newer on the panel, they gave me the less culpable defendants is what the plan was. And it turns out my first trial ever was the only defendant that didn't enter a plea deal out of 50.
So you're
Or
screwed.
54. I had what looked like number 54, 53 pled out, and I got one.
And how they couldn't have gone well
What makes you think that?
because the other people all bled out.
Yeah, that turned out to be a problem. That and 36,000 recorded phone calls. So my client did not testify except via DVD through the speaker system that sounded really good. So I had all kinds of challenges in that trial. First one is 3.5 weeks. Like my kid's principal is on the jury. That's like a Wyoming juror. The clerks dared me to say something in trial. So I had all kinds of weight on my shoulders, including this guy was facing life. So he's charged with about 3.5 pounds of meth, and he was convicted.
Wow.
It turns out, though, I'm really proud of this particular case because he was caught with 3 grams on him, and they convicted him of 3 grams. So I feel like I won. The 3 pounds they charged him with, I successfully convinced them that that was just a bunch of people lying to save themselves, and he got busted. However, because of the way the rules were at the time, that's life because he had other prior felonies. So
Wow.
he will die in an American prison, which is wrong.
It is wrong. So are you a passionate person outside the courtroom for just general change?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, I'm a changed guy. You can't help who we are sometimes, right? But in the Army, and it's so cliche, and I hate it right now, but my call sign's Maverick.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not.
Mine's Goose.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's awesome.
We should fly together.
I thought it was Billy Goat.
It is the goat, actually.
Oh, God.
Because I'm sure-footed like a mountain goat. If you ever hike with me, you'll see. I'm an amazing hiker.
We should do it.
Yeah, we should.
Tell us about your hike to Machu Picchu.
I took the train up to the top, and then I had some pictures taken of me walking into the valley.
Right.
Like I had hiked up.
Yep.
And I had an industrial-sized bag of coca leaves to keep me going.
I feel like a goat wouldn't do that.
Well, I'm an
Sure-footed.
American goat.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
American goat, not a Peruvian goat.
But you got the pictures.
Yeah.
Perfect. I like it. So where were we?
We're talking
I'm
about
thinking of him as a goat right now and hikes we could do.
Oh, you said your call sign was Maverick.
Oh, it's really, I still like kind of fighting the system. People ask me why I'm even messing around with the Army. Like, I lose money to go every month, right? plane ticket, the rental car, the this, the that, whatever it is, costs more than I make. But I still feel like I'm capable of making change and have. And there's a lot going on that I got to be part of. First prosecution ever of a detainee in American custody, all the way to where I was a commander at the inauguration a couple of years ago. The stuff you saw on TV, that underground parking structure, I was in charge of that night.
Wow.
So I'm still proud of that. And what you heard actually wasn't true, believe it or not.
What did I hear?
Well, you heard that we're sleeping in the parking structure and we didn't have places to stay and all kinds of stuff like that. That's not true. We're on 2 hours on, 2 hour off shifts. So what does an Army person do when they have a break? They lay down. Everybody either had, I was staying at the stadium at the time, so we had sleeping bags and warm place to stay and stuff like that. And actually the parking structures, as you go deeper and deeper, are warmer and warmer. So the news made it sound like the National Guard was being mistreated and all this, but that was our shift. We had the night shift, and as a leader, I want the people who aren't working to rest, and they chose to rest in different ways, but it made the news.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
Yep.
Well, things get twisted and distorted all the time. That's why you represent people to help tell their story. I mean, because you do a lot of David versus Goliath stuff, right? You know, so tell us about, let's fast forward. I mean, you had several trials in between there. You guys do national practice, which we'll get to, but now you're in NorCal, Santa Maria, and you're trying this. Well, tell us about the case.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. So it's a case that, let's start with nobody wanted it. So I get a call from Taylor Ernst.
Sounds like most of the cases in my office.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's like, oh, Jakob might be interested, which is true, because I'm a little bit of a bleeding heart. Taylor Ernst and I are both pilots. He got this case. He doesn't want to try the case. He's a TBI guy. He wants to stick in that lane and ask me.
Great TBI guy. I mean, this is...
Absolutely.
You're a pilot.
Yes.
You had a parachuting award. What the fuck? Just walk us through this. I just want to know what that's like. Do you actually parachute down with weapons and blow shit up?
Everything. So
Really?
in order, all airborne soldiers, Marines, airmen, or whatever, part of getting that badge is you do jumps with just yourself, but in order to be qualified, you have to jump with your weapon, your rucksack, and everything. So you can barely walk. It's called the airborne shuffle, but you have all this stuff on. It's so heavy, you kind of shuffle because you can't take one step in front of the other. You get on the airplane. It could be a jet. It could be a C-130, whatever is available through the Air Force, because the Army only has helicopters. Well, we just don't have the big planes to jump out of. But anyway, so you jump, and you're so heavy, what you do is you have a line and you let your rucksack down. So it's hanging below you.
Your what sack?
Rucksack.
Rucksack. Oh, Mara thought you said something else.
Yeah.
Your nutsack is below you too, but
He peaked. I see it.
And mine really is low sometimes.
it wouldn't be low.
He's almost 50.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be inside you during this particular part of the operation. But so it hits before you, so you're lighter. So if you ever see on TV there's something hanging below, it literally hits and then you hit right after, so it doesn't hurt you.
You know, I've done the parachutes at Knoxbury Farm, if you've ever been there, you know.
That's where all the Army people start.
Is that where they train?
Yes.
Yeah. Because, you know, they take you up and then they drop you down in the parachute. Have you ever been on that one?
No, but I know, like, people always shot me these parachuting cases, but every, like, civilian just going out recreational, none of these places ever have insurance.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I've had two of them. One of them against, it was called, two of them against the same place, Skydive, Low Die or whatever up there. And they don't have insurance. The guy laughs. He goes, you want to sue me? Go ahead, sue me. I called the guy. He goes, I got a video of your guy. They take videos of him.
Yeah.
You're going to die, right? Yeah, I'm going to die. Okay, you know you can die. You know most likely you're going to die. Yeah. And then they, okay, go ahead and sue me. I'll send you the video.
Well, some don't have cars. Why would they have insurance? They only do this because they love it. Yeah. Army people, it's a little different experience. So we jump as low as about 800 feet. So, 5 seconds in, you're on the ground. You're splattered.
5 seconds?
Well, at 800 feet, depending on a few other factors, you don't have much time to fail.
Wow. Well, speaking of how much time you have to fail, how long was your recent trial?
6 weeks.
Wow, it's a long one.
Yeah.
So walk us through it. Happens up in Santa Maria, said it's a simple case. Tyler Ernst calls you, he's a TBI guy, and says, hey, I need a specialist. I need that sniper rifle badge guy.
Yeah, he just honestly, he needed help. He was in one of his normal cases where he had 111 depositions, and he just needed someone to run with this.
Wow, 111 depositions?
Yes.
Sounds like Taylor Ernst.
That's Taylor. I've never had one of these 111 deposition cases. So I'm like, I like this case. I want to do it. So, but I'm not licensed in California.
Where are you licensed? Because you take trials everywhere.
Correct. So just Wyoming and Colorado, and the rest I do pro hoc.
Wow.
I know some people go get licensed other places. I haven't worked on that too hard.
Wow. Did you feel like did the judge give you a hard time because you're not a California guy?
I will tell you this: if you're a rules follower and a team player and stuff like that, any judge in any place will accept you. And I have gotten nothing other than that. But if you go in there and you act like you run the place and you act like the rules don't matter, or you fail to read the local rules, which every time you pro hoc, there's a little thing in there that says, I read and understand, I'll follow your rules. If you want to play that game, it's going to be a nightmare.
Wow.
I don't like to play the game.
But what's your intake process like for you to, because like our firm is a kind of built similar where you get shopped a lot of trials, right? And 110 depositions, it's going to take you a month to see if this case is good.
Taylor hadn't previously asked for help. I believed in the facts, and so I said yes on the phone.
Wow, on the phone.
But it's interesting because 3 other people after, as I was trying to get help with someone to sponsor me, even though Taylor could sponsor me, he let me know he's too busy to deal with it. So I got said no. 3 other people said no to the case, even midway through. The people that were going to be local counsel for me wrote a disengagement letter to the client without telling me because they thought it was a bad case. He gets a disengagement letter in the mail, calls Taylor and I. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, no, nothing's. I'm sorry about that. I'm still your guy. So,
Yeah, but you need to pro hack. You need a California lawyer that signs for you. But you have partners that are California lawyers, right? Like,
I did.
So what type of case is this? I mean, 110 depositions.
No, Taylor was doing 110. That's why he gave me this case, because it's not a TBI and it's not up his alley. So he's like, I can't do anything for you. I just need you to run with the case.
So tell us, like, how did you jump into this case? 110 depositions. Taylor talked about he's too busy. What kind of case is this?
So this is a complicated case. So the first thing, anytime someone comes at me complicated or up against the statute of limitations, we start with a 50% fee agreement. That's like step one. You come at me 30 days to a statute or something like that, you're going to change my life, or a hard case. So that's where I started. Yes, I will do it, but there's a trade-off. So you just have to start looking into it. This gentleman had multiple myeloma. And I don't want to, well, let's go backwards a little bit. Let's talk about how he found out, and then I'll tell you about the case. Is that okay? So I have a client that gets diagnosed with multiple myeloma in 2015. Nobody knows why, and doctors will tell you they don't know why and stuff like that. Well, coincidentally, in 2015, his son had gone to his high school reunion. He had a female with him and wanted to show her where they grew up, right? Maybe you've done that in Pennsylvania.
Sure,
I don't know.
always.
But,
This is the house I grew up in.
this is the high school I went to.
It's the crack den next door. Looks nice.
I mean, you're giving them an opportunity to bail.
Exactly.
Right. So
This is what you're getting into.
yes. Thanksgiving will be right there, and Anyway, so the house was gone. So he goes and tells his dad, "Hey, our house is gone." His dad's going through chemo, and he actually had divorced the mom 2.5 years into owning the house, and he's like, okay, he took it as just regular information, right? Well, then the daughter came about 2 years later and told Dad, so now Dad's progressed through chemo and stuff like that. Dad, there's a 2-story house where our house used to be. So my client's healthy enough at the time, so he Googles it, and you know how Zillow and all these things pop up now when you do an address. He wanted to see what the house looked like. That's not what popped up first. What popped up first is Chevron had bought the house, excavated all this soil because other people had been contaminated, and then resold it. So for the first time ever, he's on notice now, of course, what lawyers care about, that there could be a connection between that and the cancer he has.
So the pictures were of the land being dug up.
Correct. Not this new 2-story house, which you could get to a couple stories down to Zillow and those things, but this was stories about people leaving the house, about Chevron buying the house.
Wow.
And he's like, what the heck? And so that's when he got a hold of the Ernsts, and we had to start putting this together, because if you look at the epidemiological studies, which it's interesting, right? The defense wants our clients to be compared to an epidemiological study, which is kind of BS, because my client got put into an epidemiological study unknowingly by a lazy corporation. So we go and we find there's hundreds and hundreds of articles that say no connection. Benzene does not cause multiple myeloma, benzene exposure, but benzene exposure causes acute myeloid leukemia, which comes from your bone marrow, right? Guess what multiple myeloma is? Yeah. It's damage to your bone marrow that then, of course, causes the cancer. So this just didn't make sense to us. So our oncologist said, yes, this is it. And we're like, great, where are the studies? And you look and there's IARC, the International Association of Research on Cancer. There's all these things, and it says there's some correlation, but not really. But all the overwhelming studies say no. So you drill down in the studies and you start looking at the study author names, which we normally don't do.
Oh, yeah.
But when you look at the study author name and look him up, it was the chief toxicologist for Shell Oil.
For Shell Oil, for the oil companies.
So what we learned is they put $31 million into creating studies that actually do support. It's hard to make a connection between that because multiple myeloma might take 20, 30, 40 years to discover. So how do you study that? You don't get to study that. So we just started attacking that. And the overwhelming causation was it does not do this. But we said, no. He's your first human study. He was unnecessarily put into this study without his knowledge, and this is what it does. So we had I told people going in this trial, I'm getting 0 or 50 million.
You got the 50.
And the benzene is one of those like forever chemicals, they call them, right?
Yeah, it's a known carcinogen, but what they argue this in the trial is no, it's that, when you walk out on the street, that's background benzene, and when you fill the gas pump, that's and we're all breathing it in, so he's okay. And we couldn't prove how much benzene he was exposed to in 86, 87, and 88. Well, guess why?
Because they pulled the evidence.
They pulled the evidence. Yeah. So I argue, we did get some soil samples before, but not in the house, not vapor intrusion, so we couldn't prove any of the stuff we needed to prove. But I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, they bought the house and tore down the house. So when they brought their expert on, I said, hey, if Chevron ever said, please do vapor intrusion so we can figure out what was in that home, could you do that? And he had to say yes. Could you please test this, that, and the other a different way than had been done so far? Would you have been able to do that? And it's an engineering firm. He has to say yes. And so we proved they're the ones that didn't allow us to have the answer. So I am telling you, the causation was always a fact. We had to convince this jury, and what I say is try the lie. If you can try a lie, you're going to win every single time. Try the lie. We're trial by human. We talk about and we train, and we love to tell human stories. This client wasn't in the courtroom hardly at all. He was in the courtroom for a total of about 90 minutes in 6 weeks. He testified for maybe 45 minutes, his son for maybe 30 minutes, his ex-wife for maybe 20 minutes, and we focused on the lies and the other stuff. And I don't believe in having the client sit at the table with us.
I don't either.
I hate it. They're being judged the whole time.
Yeah, they're staring at them the whole time.
Yeah.
Did you have to beat an MSJ on that case? Sounds like you had serious causation problems.
Oh, we did.
But it's the common sense thing, too. That's why I hate when corporations deliberately we do this in all product cases. They take the product back, they destroy it. It's like, oh, sorry, you don't have anything. It's like, well, we have like other science and common sense. We're going to do our last pour here because we're going to get to the epilogue of the Jakob Norman story. And this is Yellowstone Select. So this actually won one of the best whiskeys. They do make in Kentucky, but it's Yellowstone. So it's up in Big Sky, right? This is Montana, but Wyoming, where you're from. So you have a national practice. And in Jakob Norman's life, he's on a plane. Obviously, he's the pilot, apparently. Do you ever fly Morrow's private jet? The SW Air?
The SWA?
No.
Southwest Airlines? You never flew for them? Oh.
Hold on, Courtney needs to have a...
I need a new cup because a bunch of bugs flew into mine.
Tall tales.
Can we go on the record that still has the orange?
There's legit. I'm not even kidding. There's bugs in there.
Could she
we want to
maybe
thank
get a
the firm here in Los
right.
Angeles. Charles Lou, thank you for allowing us to use the firm. Your private whiskey members of the bar.
What is this? Is the Montana?
Well, this is Yellowstone. It's made in Kentucky, but it was,
I have
just one whiskey.
I have a one that I bought in Yellowstone National Park called they have a Grand Prismatic special edition, which is one of those lakes there in Yellowstone that you can go check out, the vaporing, bubbling sulfur pools.
Can I stick up for Wyoming real quick?
For sure.
About 90% of Yellowstone is Wyoming, and this TV series has really taken that away from us and placed it in Montana.
That's true.
I want to stick up for the majority of the park that it's a Wyoming situation.
You know, I've been there several times, and like the only part of it is in West Yellowstone, it's in Montana. Like
Yes.
like 5 minutes of it's in Montana, and the rest of it's in Wyoming and Idaho.
Correct. You got it.
Yeah, I'm like kind of a Griswold kind of RVer, so I know that stuff. You know.
Well, Holiday Roads is one of my favorite songs. So.
Holiday Roads. Man, I'm going to be singing that in my head.
Lovely.
Gonna pork her, Russ.
But yeah,
Got her. Anytime you get Courtney Barber to spit a drink out through her nose.
Listen, and a fun fact that you don't know about Jacob is our wedding photographer started calling Jacob Nick Lachey.
Oh my God, I do see Nick Lachey.
Yeah, so you
Who's
can
the
also
editor?
refer to him as Nick.
you just need a fake tan, a really dark.
So
fake
he's
tan.
his wife's friends with my wife, and they talk all the time about stuff. And very nice people, actually. The Shays are very nice. They live in Hawaii now.
We tried to watch their reality series, just so.
What, back with Jessica Simpson, or he has a new one?
What is it, Alba? What's his new wife's name? Simpson was his first
Vanessa.
one. Yeah, Vanessa. What's her last name?
Lachey now, but it was like Manila or something.
Hudgens.
No, it was on the MTV show. It was Vanessa, whatever. It's Lachey now.
Everybody in the room knows this except us.
Oh, probably, but it's fine. I'll know it 6 drinks from now.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. You do look like Nick Lachey. It is 98 degrees in here too.
I'm gonna pretend.
Look at these dimples.
I'm gonna pretend like
at
you
this.
never said this.
Look at this. This is
Jacob, you have like a son who's like 25,
He turns 25 in a couple
but
months.
you had him when you're 12 or what? Man?
no. I look at this.
There's no
I
way you
did.
can have a 25-year-old.
In Wyoming, that's what you do. I know you coast people, you wait a little bit longer, but in the middle of the country, you make babies with the people you go to high school with.
Yeah, there you go. So you had, how old is your daughter? She's early 20s?
She's 20. She'll be 21 in September.
Still in Manhattan Beach?
She's in Manhattan.
Manhattan, oh.
So
The Big Apple.
she is.
I was just there in New York, and as usual, I couldn't wait to get out of there. I grew up in Southern California, and New York just is like, it just kicks you right in the face if you're from LA. I don't adapt. I can spend 12 hours there before I want to leave.
Yeah, I agree. It's a couple day place.
Yeah, it's bad.
They have a good show.
But for a young adult, I think great. Go do it now, and
Get it out of your system.
I'm sure she'll end up not there in the long run.
Yeah. So you got 2 kids now in their 20s. Do any of them talk about the stories of dad and anyone want to follow in your footsteps? How's that going?
No, they hate me. I was a single dad, so I had to make them, do their homework and stuff like that. No, the Caden's worked for the company a little bit. He's done a little bit of everything. He makes a lot of openings and closings for lawyers across the country, actually, because they struggle with those kind of tasks. It's not directly related to being a lawyer.
Like he does PowerPoint stuff and like
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have an associate attorney in my office. She's like maybe 27 or something. Like the PowerPoint, her ability to use PowerPoint is like, to me, like otherworldly. Like I can barely make a fucking slide. And I can tell her I want a video, I want this embedded or whatever. She just go, and it's done. So like the young kids, they really know how to use that stuff.
I would love to see your
born with it.
resume in crayon, actually. This
I'm
would be
so
great.
excited.
Yeah. Because you
Well-
just put these stupid stories about like Judd Nelson and other crazy stuff. That's
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
like,
I was voted, many things. Not most likely to succeed, that's for sure.
were you voted anything in high school?
No. No, I don't think so.
I was class flirt, if you can believe that.
Really?
Plus flirt. I was voted. Did you guys have electronic voting at the time?
No, well, I didn't.
Mine was. It's called a GPA, and it was a 2.2.
2 points.
Yeah. That's what I got voted in high school. That's why I went into the military.
I always said, like,
I'm
I
right there
actually-
with you on that. I had a very low GPA, and as a matter of fact, it's more like, I'm ashamed of very few things in my life, but this I'm ashamed of. Like a week before graduation in high school, I still hadn't passed some English test that you had to
I have
pass.
nightmares about this every fucking
You had to
night
pass
still.
some English test for the state, like of California, to graduate. So they took like 10 or 15 of like the real ding dongs, like me and my buddy Dallas Miller, who was in,
Sounds like a Dallas.
he was in
sounds like a.
he was a Marine MP for like 20 years, more than that, down at Camp Pendleton.
Well, that's a good handle if you're a Marine and
Yeah.
a cop.
So they took us into a room, the ding dongs that weren't going to get their diploma, and they said, okay, we're going to review for this test. And basically they spent like 4 hours reviewing the actual test and giving us the answers, and then they gave us the test right after. So I was like, damn, I can pass this. They just went over it. So that I did. I actually got my diploma, because of that. But I barely graduated, as you know, so. It was,
And I know you're probably trying to wrap it up, but I don't have many nightmares, but one is associated with this. I'm like about to graduate law school and they come and tell me
I have this all the
didn't
time.
quite
Me too,
get there.
all the time.
And
or they tell you that your bar exam results were incorrect.
I'm like, but I've been practicing law for like 10 years. What do you mean I didn't graduate law school?
it is a legit night.
Yeah.
I don't have ghost ones and I don't have this and that. I always have. I just about made it, but someone's telling me I'm not making
You know
it.
what? I have the same reoccurrence. Wonder what that tells us about us.
We should figure this out.
Yeah, we should go to a person.
Yeah,
that
I've had
tells us.
that. I've had that nightmare.
You know any shamans? I feel like Mara would know a shaman to be able to tell us.
No, I mean, I've been to Costa Rica and done the ayahuasca and stuff like that, you know.
Well, there we go.
That was fun. And the guy put me like in this like sweat lodge thing. It was, you know, it was cool.
So, I mean, Jacob literally being a colonel, being in leadership, you teach a lot of leadership, but also a lot of just straight up operations for law firms. So you're sitting at like the top of the food chain for complicated cases or cases that you want across the nation. How are you able to manage that? Because you probably get calls in for trials from Alaska to Alabama. How do you set up your policies and procedures, and where do you think that the practice of law is going to go?
Yeah, so a couple things. One is most lawyers are horrible at the business side. We're the most embezzled from profession that exists, and it's because we suck at all this particular stuff.
That's why my dad does our books.
yeah, that's a great idea. Keep it in the family.
And God bless her soul, my mom was my accountant for years too until she passed away. And I never bothered with it. But after she passed away like 6 years ago, then now I have to actually pay attention, and I never did before, you know.
No, it's hard, and to your point, to finish the question, we're not advertisers.
Yeah.
A lot of attorneys will call you not because they see your value a different way. Unfortunately, they call when they have a problem, when they're all the way through and they maybe didn't designate an expert to save money or something like that. So, and you guys know these stories, but it's sometimes too late.
Yep.
But people ought to call people for help, and not me or you, or they ought to call someone for help when it's their best case ever. But typically they kind of hold those. And I hear all these stories, I had my best case ever, and they tell me, and they said they sell it for $3 million. I'm like, that was a $20 million case, and you chose not to bring someone in. So when we're managing it, first starts with software, and I'm not here to plug any software, but if you don't have a system or don't have systems, stuff falls through the cracks. But we have a quantitative and qualitative analysis. I have attorneys rate the likability of the plaintiff, rate aggravating factors.
Have you ever seen his operating systems? When we go off it's the most beautiful work of art I've ever seen. Everything's automated, but what Jacob spent, I think he told me this, all of Thanksgiving for like 2-3 weeks, he did it all himself, built out every single piece of it.
Right, and part of that is, what do I care about? Well, I want them to estimate the value of the case. I want them to estimate the number of experts. How much are these people going to cost? And look at other things that we all get burned on: prior cases, prior injuries, subsequent injuries, criminal charges, you name it. So I put all those things into intake. And then I can run reports and tell you, and not only that, later when the case settles or gets a verdict, I can start telling you if attorney A in California or attorney B in Boston is actually good or bad at rating cases and bringing cases in. So we hear this a lot, though, oh, I only have 2 people or 3 people. It doesn't matter. You need a system to go from beginning to the end to make sure you have a system and it's working, and everybody could use a little bit of that.
Yeah, because when somebody calls you about a case in Oklahoma, I mean, you have to, you're not licensed there, do you have a lawyer that's part of your organization, Trials for Justice, already there? If not, you got to find someone local to pro hockey in. These are all, you have to have the same systems in place or else it fails.
Correct, and it's scary, right? Oklahoma we're good on, but what about the state that you're not? How do you know you're getting the right person? And you need someone that knows, understands the rules, and hopefully has credibility. So,
and I wish these lawyers, this happens all the time, where they come in with their best case too late, or they fucked it up or did something catastrophic, and they had to settle to their detriment of their client on the cheap, and they're not able to have that money last forever. I know, like, settlement broking, these type of things, you're able to broker the settlement, and you do a lot of those things for your clients too to make sure the money lasts forever. But going a step back, if these attorneys just got the case, at least on a consultation basis.
correct.
So I don't know if you guys do this, but it's like, hey, put us on either a low stagger percentage, or let us just give you input early on so you don't screw it up catastrophically.
Correct.
But you have to have a system in place to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I get calls, like you're saying, from lawyers that literally, I mean, I told this guy the other day, I said, listen, man, I'm good, man, but I'm not a fucking magician. You know, I mean, this case is a disaster. You couldn't have blown more, blew everything, didn't do anything. And it's a great case. And they literally want miracles. You know, they think, oh, well, Mara, he can pull a rabbit out of the hat. I mean, shit, I can't. I have a lot of times. And that's the thing, we have, right? You've gotten away with it. I've gotten away with it a million times.
Get away with it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not how it's not my choice. I mean, have I gone to this trial with no discovery, no experts, winging everything, and had some defense lawyer that was his own worst enemy and fucked himself, and you kick the guy's ass because they're so bad, you know? Yeah, but I mean, is that the way you want to set up your practice? Absolutely not, right? But, you know, you do that a few times and people think you can do it all the time. It's like, man, I like to have my stuff done right.
Like, just give the end of the show here some practical advice for the lawyers, young lawyers, or any practice area they're in right now. What should they be doing?
Yeah, practical advice to young lawyers. People say the same stuff, join Toastmasters, do this, do that, go to whatever. I think, I'd say like run with scissors. You know, like we're told not to. Take chances. My mom always said don't run with scissors, but so I'll never stab myself. But I think what we ought to be doing is running with scissors. Go do some workers' comp work. Learn how to start talking to doctors early. Go do a couple DUI trials. You want trial practice. Voir dire in a DUI is the same nearly as the last case I just did. But go take these chances. Don't stay, you know, in one little thing. But it's through mentorship.
Yeah.
People, young lawyers, when they think they're bothering me, it's the best thing they're ever doing. They're like, I'm about to graduate law school. What should I do? I'll say, go run with scissors and don't go join your dad's firm. If my kid ends up being at this firm, he's not working with or for me. Yeah. But if you want to be a trial lawyer, you got to take those chances, and that means you can get hurt. It means you can lose money. It means the gray-haired guy at the top might not think you're the best ever, but what's the option?
Who cares?
There's no option, so take those chances.
Yeah, and I think if you take those calculated chances, like you're right, if you have a mentorship group or people to bounce, it's like a strategic risk, right? You can run with scissors, but know some options while you're running. I like that. That should be the name of your book, your autobiography, Running with Scissors.
Well, look, when my mom wasn't around, I always did, and I'm here today.
Is that how you got the dimples?
That's right.
Wow, Nick Lachey, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So, well, we have to ask Courtney. Courtney, you come back on because we do at the end of the show where you get to choose your bourbon of proof.
Well, I don't know.
I'm a pathetic human being.
You didn't drink that one.
Oh, wow.
Okay, you have to drink it so that I can choose. So I have to choose the best
Well, I'll tell you what.
Which one you liked and why? This is your shining moment.
You know, I actually really like the first one.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm not, like I don't usually drink this. I just drink rum like a real Aussie. And
rum in Australia?
Yeah, or we just binge
It's made
drink.
backwards.
Like
Yeah,
we
that's
do
why.
nothing.
Or kangaroo juice.
You know, sometimes just the blood straight from the neck.
Wow, I want to drink some of that.
I think the first one was really smooth and surprised me because I came here like gearing myself up for some real fire in the throat, and I was like, wow.
You know, and that's, I think, the highest proof one. That's 100 proof.
Well, that makes sense because, you know, we're all insane. So I like that one the most.
Well, Jacob, your bourbon of proof is a lock, stock, and barrel. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the episode of Bourbon of Proof. If you want to find Jacob Norman, you just Google the guy's name, but it's Jacob with a K.
That's
it's
correct.
like our favorite animal from Australia.
The kangaroo.
The koala.
Oh.
Well, actually, I like the platypus. That's my favorite. The duck-billed platypus, obviously.
My favorite animal from Australia is Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, God.
I love Crocodile Dundee.
Do you?
Is he still famous over there?
I mean, he's an icon.
Him or Steve Irwin? Who's more famous?
You know, Steve Irwin is like a country bad boy. You just...
I thought I was a country.
Well,
boy.
you were too. But, I mean, you got to love a guy who just jumps on a crocodile for fun.
Wow.
One
This
last.
is a knife. That's what this like.
Yeah.
This is a knife.
That's not a knife. One of their last prime ministers, or a few ago, he was a championship beer drinker. So they have a great system down there. And they found him at a soccer match. You can look this up, but the crowd gets going and he just they
skulls
they
like
call
a
it sculling.
full, massive beer, or we call it necked it. He just necked it in front of the whole crowd.
He necked it.
Now, if we could have president like that, I think we'd be on a better path right
We
now.
would be in a better path.
Well, Biden right now is drinking Geritol. Trying to, and what's that Nariva? The stuff that's like the vitamins for your brain.
What?
They not got to give him
Inca biloba.
some Nariva.
Good job, guys. Great president. I love it.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this banter.
Yes, thank you.